As discussed earlier, class 53 contains 5 subclasses. We have discussed subclass 53.1 notice of claim and subclass 53.2 contemporary records. Today we will discuss rest of classes, that is subclass 53.3, subclass 53.4, subclass 53.5. So this will be lecture number 10 part 3. First of all, we will discuss subclass 53.3 substantiation of claims. For the sake of understanding, this class may be divided into following two parts: where event causing claim does not have continuing effect and where event causing claim has continuing effect. Where event causing claim does not have continuing effect, within 28 days or at any other time as agreed by the engineer after giving notice under subclass 53.1, the contractor shall send to engineer amount of claim and basis of claim. It is important to note that word shall has been used, so there appears that it is mandatory for the contractor to send amount of claim and basis of claim to engineer within 28 days after giving notice under subclass 53.1. So event causing claim has occurred at this point of time, and within 28 days the contractor is under obligation to provide notice to claim to engineer. Say contractor has provided notice of claim at this point. Within 28 days after notice, the contractor shall submit particulars of claim to the engineer. Where event causing claim has continuing effect, at intervals as reasonably required by the engineer, the contractor shall send to engineer the interim amount of claim and basis of claim. Here also word shall has been used, so there appears that it is mandatory for the contractor to send interim amount of claim and basis of claim to the engineer in intervals as required by the engineer. Within 28 days after end of continuing effect, the contractor shall send to the engineer final amount of claim and basis of claim. Here also word shall has been used. So at the first stage, contractor shall send to the engineer an interim amount of claim and basis of claim, and after end of continuing effect within 28 days the contractor shall send to engineer the final amount of claim and basis of claim. Event causing claim has occurred at this point of time. Within 28 days under subclass 53.1, the contractor shall provide notice to claim to the engineer. Say contractor has provided notice to claim on this point of time. Since the event causing claim has continuing effect, therefore the contractor shall submit interim particulars of claim to the engineer at different intervals as required by the engineer. Say event causing claim has stopped on this point, so within 28 days the contractor shall submit final particulars of claim to the engineer. The contractor, if required by the engineer, shall send copy of all particulars of claim to the employer. So if required by the engineer, if engineer says to the contractor shall send copy of all particulars of claim such as amount of claim and basis of claim to the employer. Subclass 53.4 failure to comply. This class provides remedy when contractor fails to follow procedure as provided in subclass 53.1, 53.2 and 53.3. So what if contractor fails to comply any of provision 53.1, 53.2 and 53.3? In that case, contractor entitlement shall be limited and shall not exceed as can be verified from available records by engineer or arbitrator. It is very important to note that the failure by the contractor to make claim in accordance with the provision of 53.1, 53.2 and 53.3 shall not bar the contractor from receiving amount of any claim which the contractor can substantiate from the records. Now we will discuss subclass 53.5 payments of claims. As the engineer certifies the amount of work done in IPC interim payment certificate, in similar manner the engineer, after consultation with contractor and employer, shall certify amounts in interim payments for those claims in which sufficient particulars are available. For example, contractor has submitted claims against following heads such as idling of equipment, idling of labor, and extended cost of bonds. However, contractor has submitted sufficient evidence for idling of equipment only. Therefore, the engineer shall certify the amount of idling equipment only. In common situation where liability is agreed but amount of claim is not agreed, this subclass 53.5 may be invoked to support interim payments. So if amount of claim is disputed, however liability is agreed, this clause may be used for interim payments.